All right, let's get to the news. Let's talk about this. To a potential bombshell story now out of Thailand, which are not words that I thought would ever come out of my mouth. A bombshell story out of Thailand? Oh, yeah. Listen to this. This is a potential bombshell, and Pfizer better buckle up because this could start to become a contagion for Pfizer. And I really think that we're starting to see a change. I think we're starting to see, in fact, now you're starting to see some mainstream media outlets even begin to cover this question about Pfizer. But here is what's going on in Thailand right now. So do you remember a few weeks ago when the princess of Thailand suddenly collapsed just days after receiving her booster shot? Now, we covered this in the newsletter. We didn't get a chance to cover it here on the show, I think because it was during the holiday time and we were off at the time. Anyway, she's still in a coma to this day. Okay, this happened about 3 weeks ago. Well, now we're learning that the Thai royal family has been told that her collapse had nothing to do with a bacterial infection, which is the story they were sold at the beginning. Imagine having the cojones to go into the royal family, to the king, right? And be able to say, Your Highness, the reason she's in a coma is because of a bacterial infection. To which anyone with a brain would say, oh, then give her an antibiotic and she'll be good by tomorrow. No, that's not the case. That's what they told him. That's what they told the royal family initially, bacterial infection. They were lied to, of course. And as I mentioned, an antibiotic would have nipped this in the bud very quickly. But instead, according to reports, she's most likely affected, most likely a victim of the jab. That's right. The report comes to us from sources living in Thailand and a new interview that a Thai doctor, Dr. Sukaret Bhaktadi, he sat down with Pascal Najati in an interview presented by journalist Taylor Hudak. Now listen to Dr. Hopefully I'm saying the name correctly. Bhakti, that's it, Dr. Bhakti. Sometimes when I'm looking at the names, I'm like, all right, brain, process. Dr. Bhakti explains the ridiculousness. So he explains the ridiculousness of the story of the bacterial infection that was told to the royal family about what happened to the princess in the coma. Listen to him set this up, and then we'll get to more on this. Watch.
One daughter of the present king, Ram X, collapsed and is in coma. She, within, I think it was 23 days after the third shot.
And she's young.
Of course, 44 years old, never been seriously ill, collapsed and is now in a coma. And the diagnosis that was given by the authorities and by the university is so ridiculous. She's supposed to have a bacterial infection that will never do what she's suffering from. And so we determined, and the activists in Thailand who have been on this for many, many months now, great guys, also a professor from the university in Bangkok. He's gotten in touch with the royal family, and we are sending information to the royal family to alert them to the fact that in all probability, the princess is suffering as a victim of this jab, as so many people around the world have been suffering.
You know what's even scarier for me with this story, really quick?
Yeah.
Is the fact that there are powers that be that had more power to misinform a king about what happened to his daughter. Who is that? Right. That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Well, if you realize the tentacles of this thing, how many billions are at stake around the world? I mean, the fact that you literally have like the head of these groups texting with the head of the European Commission, right? Ursula von der Leyen. Like, we want to know the context of those text messages. Think about the heads of governments, heads of NGOs, heads of non-elected government, like the head of the European Commission. She's not elected by you or me, right? So think of the tentacles of this thing. It's far and wide. And remember, to your point, I mean, just last week, of course, when Project Veritas broke this big story about what's going on with Pfizer, right? And then suddenly they are censored, blocked, banned, and all Google search results are somehow manipulated all of a sudden. So you can't even find it. You have to dig for it. If you just search for these things, it's very difficult to find. It's amazing how this works. When you spend billions of dollars manipulating the media, this is what happens. This is what happens. So now Dr. Bhakti explains that he was called to go in front of the king. You're going to hear the moment that he broke the news to the Thai officials about the Pfizer vaccine and the cover-up as a result of this meeting. Top Thai officials are now pulling off the gloves, basically, against Pfizer BioNTech, and could become the first country in the world to nullify the contracts between the government and Pfizer. Holy shit. Think about that. This could be, and we thought this might have actually was going to start to happen in Bolivia, and it hasn't, with a different scenario. But this could be the first government that does this, nullifies the contracts, has the guts to nullify. Because we've been saying these contracts offer them immunity, right? Many of these countries, depending on the country and how they structure these contracts with these companies, they have immunity, meaning the pharmaceutical companies have immunity from anything. But what if they nullify them? Because you lied to us. This means that contract is null and void, you sons of bitches. And now you have to pay the piper. So listen to what Dr. Bhakti explains, meeting with these Thai officials. And just, can you picture yourself in this room when he's explaining to these people who've never heard this information before because they were lied to about it and it was suppressed. And then they push their chairs back and they stand right there and say to him, we're going to take action on this. Watch this. This is amazing.
They said, if you are coming to Thailand, I am still a Thai, by the way. I am Thai German. We will connect you with authorities and advisors to the highest authorities in Thailand. And this is what happened. And so I had the opportunity, the first opportunity in 3 years, to talk to the top advisors of a government in any country. And it was very, very impressive.
Now, let me just say, before we get to more of this, the reason he wasn't invited to talk everywhere else is he published papers, reports on the clots, the blood clots, because of his research, and it was suppressed and it was blocked. So the only country that now wants to sit down with him and hear from him is Thailand.
I laid out to them that this whole COVID-19 agenda is a fake, and why it's a fake. And I was able to lay out before them the proof that the COVID vaccinations were based on fraud. 18th of October, which we have at our disposal. Mm-hmm. The EMA declared officially that safety pharmacological studies were never performed, never, and they were never deemed necessary. So now we have it. And when I told the Thais this, guys, they jumped up. They jumped up in the room. And so they said to me, we will see to it that Thailand is the first country in the world that is going to declare this contract null and nullify the contract, which means that Pfizer BioNTech is going to have to pay back those billions to Thailand, with which Thailand will recompensate those peoples that have lost their existence.
I don't know. I got chills.
Well, and from what I remember, that we've not seen an actual, we've seen redacted versions of these contracts. So I'm hoping that they release the contract as well so that we can see what's actually in these things.
Oh, I would love that. And now I should point out, of course, the contracts that we get in the United States are different than what was in Bolivia, than what was in, and we were having a judge who was releasing information about the contracts in Bolivia. But yeah, what's in this contract in Thailand? Every country's different. And then you had some countries that said, no, these contracts are too onerous. This is ridiculous. We are not going to go with your vaccine. Countries turned them down because of the onerous contracts. Of course, the United States worked right in lockstep with these countries, with these companies, so that there's no, they have full immunity. And if the stuff doesn't work, we'll still pay you. We'll still pay you billions of dollars. Don't even worry about it. So amazingly, Dr. Bhakti, of course, published a paper over a year ago warning about blood clots. But the research was ignored. It was suppressed. It was blocked by the mainstream media. And no governments wanted to meet with them. So Thailand could be the very first country to nullify these contracts. We're going to keep following this. This is a bombshell story that's getting no coverage anywhere. And we need to bring this to light. We need, please share this story out. Or if not, you don't want to share it, just smash the like button on it because it'll push it out to more people. So more people see this story. We need to get this message out there. Here's a guy who literally has been working tirelessly to get this message out there, and he's been blocked and banned on social media and around the world by media organizations. So please, let's amplify this story. And shout out to Taylor Hudak doing a great job bringing some of these great thought leaders to light. So please amplify this story, share it, get it out there. Unbelievable. Thank you so much for watching this segment here at Redacted. We are live every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, trying to share the stories that the mainstream media will not cover. You should also come over and join our community of Redacted Rebels over at redacted.inc. That's our private locals community where we can share exclusive content that we simply cannot share here on YouTube. Come over and join the rebellion together right now by going to redacted.inc. We'll see you next time.